We understand existing order history for customers and the patterns, and we start to cluster customers that are like for like and say, okay, well, these 5 customers consistently buy these products. Why are these 2 not acting the same way? And we start to message inside sales CSRs about predictability, about what's happening. So our goal is to show up before the customer even knows it's a need for them. That up-levels, customer service in a very competitive market, as you know, for distribution. You want to be the company that has the best customer service, and analytics does that in a lot of ways.
Everyone likes to automate. When it comes to automation, how are you exactly doing that?
Automation is everything in this world, as you know, because it's about who spends more time with the customer. We want to free up that tactical work so they can spend more time on the strategic relationships to grow business.
And what's been your big learning? How can we learn from the leaders, educators, and experts in our industry? What can we take away from their successes and failures? How can we apply this to our businesses, our careers, and our lives? This is what we are here to find out. I'm your host, Karthik Chidambaram, CEO of DC Cap. We make systems, talk to each other for manufacturers and distributors. I love to learn and share that knowledge with others. This podcast is about having meaningful conversations that we can all learn from. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy this conversation. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Driven by DC Cap podcast. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, Justin Johnson, Chief Executive Officer of Motivate. Justin, thank you so much for joining me today, and great to have you on our show.
Awesome. Appreciate it. I'm a big fan of your pod, so thank you for having me.
Justin, this means a lot to me, so thank you. So Justin, for the audience who are not very familiar with Motivate, can you tell us what does Motivate do?
Motivate is a sales order and quote automation product. So we free up time from the inside sales people processing orders and quotes. And then we introduce sales insights. So we fill that time with additional sales guidance when what customer to call and when. And then we also have a patent pending e-commerce module where customers can log into a distributor's website, drag and drop their unstructured files, and buy 20 to 100 items within seconds.
So let's talk about sales order automation. Everyone likes to automate.
Yes.
When it comes to automation, how are you exactly doing that? For instance, the common use case is, there's a fax order which comes in and you automate it. Is that the common use case, or how exactly are you automating?
We automate all customer communication. So especially in quotes and orders, a quote will come in or a request for an order comes in via email. So that'll include a handwritten note that somebody took a picture of, an Excel file, a PDF, and we read that unstructured content, which is key because a traditional a CSR will go from a file, and if it's 10 items, that takes quite a bit of time. If it's 100 or 1,000 lines in a quote request, they go over to the ERP and they type that in. It takes a ton of time, prone to errors. So that's the piece that's really freeing up a ton of time from the customer service rep to be able to spend more time with customers. That's the automation part.
So do you also do voice automation? For instance, let's say I want to make an order. Mm-hmm. I just ask the case Siri, I need to order this. So do you guys do that as well? Let's say, can you convert a voice note into an order?
We can. Voice, text, WhatsApp, email, any way that the customer is communicating. We have a voice agent where a customer calls a phone number, it interacts, we can look up the customer account information, existing order history within the ERP, so intelligently communicate back about, hey, you're set to replenish this order next week. Is that what you're calling about? Yes, it is. Great, let's execute it. And then we can do confirmations of that order via text or email.
You talked about sales intelligence. Is that more of an analytics tool, or what exactly is that?
That's exactly what it is. So we understand existing order history for customers and the patterns, and we start to cluster customers that are like for like and say, okay, well, these 5 customers consistently buy these products. Why are these 2 not acting the same way? And we start to, message inside sales CSRs about predictability, about what's happening. So our goal is to show up before the customer even knows it's a need for them. That up-levels, customer service in a very competitive market, as you know, for distribution. You want to be the company that has the best customer service, and analytics does that in a lot of ways.
And commerce automation, you talked about a patent pending product. You showed me a demo as well. Sure. I thought that was pretty cool.
Thanks.
So can you talk to us about it?
Yeah, so this was actually one of our customers' ideas. We're very, very good at the order automation and effectively reading unstructured content and quickly matching at a high degree of accuracy with the catalog, and that's key. So we met with our friends in the e-commerce space and built an application where a customer can drag and drop their unstructured files to the website to buy in seconds. As you know, a lot of people have invested a lot of time and money into e-commerce, and the results have been, fair at best. 1 and 2% of overall revenue is going through e-commerce, but these teams have done everything right. They've implemented some of the best e-commerce platforms out there. They have custom pricing, availability, all those different things, but customers are still not buying. And a big part of it that we found out pretty quickly is distributors buy off lists. They have purchase orders that are issued to them by their accounting teams, right? And so why would somebody go and retype 20 items into an e-commerce environment to search and then add each one of those to the cart? They don't buy like we do on Amazon. So yeah, we filed multiple patent applications around this to try to create a competitive moat there where a customer can drag and drop it in. The functionality that's really taken off is the text. We call it text to cart. So you associate a phone number with the e-commerce buying experience. A customer is in the field doing their work. They're not going to engage with the website. At least they prefer not to. They've told us that. They want to text a number with their handwritten order. We send back a confirmation and they can buy online with just a text.
Very interesting. Let's say I'm a sales rep at a customer location.
Sure.
And the customer says, hey, I need this, this, and that.
Yep.
So you write it by hand.
That's right.
Text it.
Yep.
And that gets converted to an order.
That's exactly what happens. And we send a confirmation back of the matching. Because as you know, people don't always order with UPCs or product IDs or SKUs. They have descriptions. Those descriptions can be converted to anything, right? Sometimes the color or the size isn't picked. And so we do our matching on the fly, and then people can confirm right there. But yeah, our customers at the branch level, at the desk, a customer will walk in and verbally give an order, and the CSR, the desk person running the desk, will write it down, take a picture of it, and send it through, and it's done. So automation is everything in this world, as you know, because it's about who spends more time with the customer. We want to free up that tactical work so they can spend more time on the strategic relationships to grow business.
And you guys are focused just on the distribution industry, and you cater to the distribution market of the distributors, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. We do have a couple manufacturing customers, but distributors are the ones that are calling us multiple times a day saying, I need help here. I need to free this up. And a big part of it is employees, as you know, attracting and retaining good employees is hard, especially right now with this labor market. And so, yeah, owners of these distribution groups are kept up late at night trying to figure out how they're going to keep up with demand. There's nothing worse than not responding to a customer that wants to order your product for days, right? So they want to accelerate this and just make sure that customers are being taken care of. And that's where automation comes in, for sure.
And how are you finding customers?
We are obviously, showing up at the buying groups. We are currently here at the Eclipse user group. We were at a P21 conference. So we like to go where the ERPs that we work with, SAP, some of the other ones. But fortunately, we have a lot of customers calling us. I've been in this business for about 25 years. This is actually my fourth company. So I know a lot of people in the space, and they trust the products that I build. And it's like, what's Justin doing now? It's got to work. So yeah, those relationships matter a lot, but we don't have to do heavy marketing. We have a great product and a great brand name, and people are coming to us.
Tell us about your other three companies. What got you into Motivate?
So I've always I started my career and worked with a company called Big Machines by way of another business that was acquired by them. So I understood the inefficiencies of, the order, sales operations within distribution and manufacturing. So I've been here for a while. My first couple companies were around channel engagement. So how manufacturers and distributors interact and engage over leads, opportunities, quotes, and just customers, because they're channels, obviously. And we really did a great job with that. And I sold a couple companies to private equity already. AI is a big thing for me. I started my career as a developer, and the opportunities that come with AI and the efficiencies that can be gained and the opportunity in distribution is really what led me to it. So it's been a ton of fun. But I love this market. I love, the small to mid-sized distributors, some still family-owned and independent, and really helping them accelerate their business is just what gets me up in the morning.
And how do you price your products at Motivate? Is it based on the number of transactions, or how does that work?
Yeah, we like to price it based on the size of the organization and the transactions that they have. We don't want to limit, smaller companies from taking advantage of great software. And so it's based on the size of the organization, the number of transactions they have. So small companies are at a lower rate than the large companies. It's effectively the same software. Larger companies get more usage out of it, more gains. So that's typically, but I intentionally like to do the small to mid-sized companies. It's a great experience for us, interact with the owners often and, the family, and you can just see that's where friendships, start, and you have them for years and years.
And who's your ideal customer? Is it electrical distributors, plumbing distributors? Are you focused on a specific industry or all distributors?
Like I said, we came out of the gate with some plumbing, HVAC, and electrical distributors because the volume is quite high there. But we haven't chased anything. We've just sort of let the companies come to us when we've been visible enough with some of our customers in our case studies. I mean, food equipment, even food distribution. A customer that's doing like 20 million lines a month right now in the food space. So lumber, hardware, industrial, it's across a lot of different markets. So we like to have a diverse client set because we learn more, the sort of the breadth and depth of all of that instead of just staying in a specific vertical. But I would definitely say, building supply, electrical, HVAC, plumbing, that's kind of our core, but we can work with anything.
And what's been your big learning running Motivate?
I think that the reality is AI and we've written our own LLM models, right? You start with sort of some of the initial OpenAI and Grok and Llama and some of that, but we've been doing this long enough and worked with, for 25 years, you work with almost every catalog, right? And so you understand what's here. So we've written our own models. I think the experience that I've seen is that AI is here, it's here to stay, and it's accelerating the businesses that use it at a level that no one even thought was possible. And it's just getting started. So, my recommendation for distributors, whether it's working with us or someone else, you got to go there because it's not a competitive advantage, it's a necessity anymore. You just have to. So that's what I've learned.
And how do you keep yourself updated with what's happening in the industry? You talked about AI. There's a lot of things, not just in AI, but also in business.
Sure.
And when it comes to AI, how do you apply that to your business, right? So how do you keep yourself updated?
Yeah, I've always prescribed, because I started as a developer, and then I got into product management, worked for some very large organizations before I started my own company. And, listening to the voice of the customer was everything for me. The late Harvard professor, Clayton Christensen, who coined, somebody has a job to be done. That's the part to focus on. It's not, the customer's not buying a 1/4-inch drill. They're buying a 1/4-inch hole in the wall to hang a picture. So, and I trained my team and really coached them constantly about thinking of, what problem is the customer solving, needs to solve. I don't care what kind of tech it is. It's AI, it's traditional, machine learning, or what it is. The customer just needs to solve that. They get, because AI is so interesting and it's the buzzword and people want to learn the mechanics of it. People are a little more interested in the technology now than they had in the past, but there's going to be some other technology next year. We have to stay ahead of it to make sure that we're solving the problem that the customer needs. I've been in the tech space for a long time, so I stay on top of the blogs. I have a lot of friends. We've raised not this company, but my previous companies have raised quite a bit of money from some forward-thinking private equity companies. And so I stay in touch with that group. But the most important thing is listen to your customers and spend time with them. And that's where we learn what we need to do. The technology is just the execution of what they want to solve.
Listen to your customers and spend time with them. That's a great way to end the conversation. So thank you so much.
Yes, appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Thank you for joining our Driven by DC Cap podcast. Your support means a lot to us. If you enjoyed this episode, please click the like button and subscribe. Consider leaving us a review. Thank you for joining us.